Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is HerO. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Daily Masters, and we've got an absolutely fantastic one for you here today. And I'm not just saying that because I say that every game. This one really is one of the best. So let's start off introducing our players. Up the top left side of the map, it is going to be TaeJa. He is from South Korea, playing for Team Liquid, and he's 19 years old. And let's check out his opponent down the bottom left side of the map. It is going to be none other than HerO. And HerO is 23 years old, also from South Korea, and also playing for Team Liquid. So not only are these guys both from Team Liquid, but they are both awesome though. In a lot of games, even against the highest level Masters players, I usually have a preference. There's a few players out there who I see them in a game, and I'm like, alright, this guy is probably just going to own everything. Now, the MMA has been one of those players recently where he just seems to win everything. And HerO and TaeJa are definitely those sort of players as well. Jaedong is another one of them, who just dominates so much. Scarlet as well, I think she's just been dominating so much. But it's quite rare that you actually see two of those players that just seem to dominate everything. Two of those players going off against each other. So that is why it is so exciting right here to see this game, to see exactly how it turns out, because you know both players will be right at the pinnacle of not just the pinnacle of their own game, but the pinnacle of overall the possibilities of playing Starcraft. I mean, you could probably count on one hand the players that are better than these guys. If there are any. I mean, I'm not saying there are, but it's really tight. These are the best of the best. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens here. So we've got a fast Reaper coming out for TaeJa, doing a little bit of a scout, a little bit of the harass. It actually might get a worker here. The Mothership Core is going to still be coming out for a while. The worker is going, but does manage to get killed by the Reaper. No more workers should go down to this Reaper. It's going to get chased away by the Mothership Core. Probably took a few more hits than it would like, but of course Reaper regeneration, quite spectacular. And here we go, the command center going down a little bit faster than the Nexus for HerO, so should be able to get out a little bit faster. He does need to get the orbital down on it though, so that does mean it's going to be a little bit longer before he starts pumping out workers, but with the addition of mules in there, should be interesting. We do have a fast Stargate coming out from HerO, so almost certainly going to see a little bit of Oracle aggression just to start off the Protoss side of the map. Now, excuse me, bloody cough. It never goes away, man. I've had this cough for probably about 12 months now, and it's not major, but it's just annoying. So anyway, we must deal with what we must deal with. So there we go. But it's Stalker coming out nice and fast. We've got 4 Marines for TaeJa covering this side. Maybe they could move a little bit further to the left if the Oracle decides to skirt past and go straight for the main base. But yeah, a little bit more to the left. Yeah, it's fine. He doesn't really have any covering with this approach. So if HerO decided to go around the long way, relatively undefended here, but he may choose to fix that up. I guess in terms of timing, the Oracle definitely will be able to get more kills sooner if it goes directly for here, but of course if the Oracle happens to die, then it's not going to get any kills, so it may be worth it to go around the long way. So here we go, we've got 2 Marines coming in here. 2 Marines, not really enough to defend against an Oracle, and Oracle can chew 2 Marines in about 2 seconds flat. Here we go, we got the double team. Stalker's probably going to be waiting before going in until the Oracle's in position. Actually going in a bit sooner, run straight into a Marauder. Not the best chance for the Stalkers to go in, but the Oracle thinking about using that. I don't think that HerO timed that correctly. If he was going to go in there, I think the Stalkers jumped the gun a little bit. There were too many forces for him to get around anyway, but yeah, he did jump the gun with the Stalkers a little bit. And now the Oracle going around, I'm pretty sure that he must know there's an Oracle there. So there we go, the Oracle taking out 1 Marine. He's going to be going for an SCV building something. And now it's going to be running for it. There were a bunch of Marines over there. Might be able to get a couple of workers here. But, oh, just gets blown up at the very last second. So these Stalkers, man, are just not really going to be able to do anything. And they probably should be getting out of there because They are going to die very, very soon. TaeJa, man, has got a phenomenal amount of marine production right here. He's actually produced a phenomenal amount of not a lot, actually. He's just got one barracks with a reactor, another one with a tech lab. He's been I don't understand how he's got this many marines. He must have just been going nuts forever and ever and ever and ever, man. He's just gone crazy. But here we go, another barracks coming up. We got some arms thingy bobs. Oh, the Marauders coming down. I don't know if they'll get this one. The Marauders, I don't think they have slow. No, they don't. But the Stalker decided to turn around and shoot. I guess the Stalkers aren't as fast as Marines once they're stimmed. So yes, definitely was not going to help. Looks like we got some action going on over here. Oracle coming in. One Marine does distracted, but it does take out 2 more SCVs before it gets out of there without taking pretty much any damage. So that is going to temporarily end TaeJa's plans for moving out with all his forces. He's got to leave some behind to deal with this bloody Oracle who just took out another SCV, so not fun at all. We got the factory coming over, which of course indicates that we're going to be seeing some Triple M all over the place, and we do have a Templar Archives going out. So HerO's gone for that pretty quickly. I mean, a Templar Archives before the 10-minute mark, you really have to push the tech out, and so that is going to be it. We're going to be seeing high Templars, we're going to be seeing feedback on the medevacs, we're going to be seeing a lot of storms on the Marines. It's a very, very good play for HerO to be going, and yeah, we'll see if he can pull it off. So a bunch of Zealots out now. Does he have... I thought I saw Zealot legs being researched before. There it is. So he's got the Zealot legs. So these guys, they could be shredded, but then again, the Marauders, if they have slow, which they still don't have slow, Marauders with slow can help quite a bit versus a Zealot incursion. If there's enough Marauders, they slow them down, then the Marines just stim and finish them all off. It can help, but there's no slow. Slow just now starting to be researched. Nice, very nice here. Force fields, and the Nexus is going to go batshit on these guys, taking out quite a few Marines, warping in some more Zealots. Once the force fields go down, they can just go in and just destroy everything. Now the question of the moment is TaeJa, there he goes, he's going right in there. I wasn't sure if you saw the High Templar before, but he has seen them now, sending in 2 Marauders in there to try and snipe him. Did not quite snipe him, but did force them to merge into an Archon. And we're just going to be waiting for the Ghost Academy to be coming out for TaeJa right now, because he needs a Ghost Academy. Oh, that Nexus, man, what a long range there. What a long range. And TaeJa, man, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. The Stim and Run is helping somewhat against the Zealots, and the Widow Mine helping against the Zealots as well. But there is one Archon out on the field. He's actually falling back though, although it looks like a couple more storms going to be coming out here via the High Templar. They don't quite have energy, but it's immediate. The energy is going to be coming up in the next 5-10 seconds. Oh, beautiful miss on that storm, man. It's just TaeJa's forces just spread out too far. And there we go. He's going to be falling back, but he's not going to be able to snipe that Nexus. However, he does have a pretty good hold on this. No, maybe not. His forces are kind of going down. Oh, the Widow Mine taking out one sentry and smashing the shields of the other one. So it's another Widow Mine down there. And TaeJa constantly reinforcing his forces. He's got a nice Marauder mix as well, which has taken out a lot of the Archons and stopping the Zealots from doing as much damage as he can. He's got constant Widow Mine aggression, which is hitting forces. Oh, another hit on the Zealots. And at the very least, he's stopping the 3rd base from going down. At the very most, he might snipe the 2nd base. If he snipes this, then I think HerO is pretty much dead. HerO cannot allow this base to go down this early in the game, man. He would be totally screwed. Finally manages to get enough Zealots to push those forces away. And it looks like TaeJa is going to fall back for now. He's got to be pretty happy with his work. He delayed a 3rd by quite a long time. He's got his own 3rd, just morphing into an orbital now, so he should be fine. We've got an Oracle at the back here, trying to kill a Marauder. Somebody should tell the Oracle that it's just pointless trying to kill those things, man. They're too beefy. But TaeJa, man, going straight back in, and a couple of storms could send this army packing, but there is a lot of Marauders. So, I don't know, man. I mean, TaeJa has gone so Marauder heavy in this fight. And considering what he's going up against, which is Mass Zealot with Storm, Marauders are an excellent, excellent idea right here. I mean, a little bit unconventional, but against this forces, it's absolutely beautiful. You can see that HerO's got one Immortal. He's getting a 2nd one out. This is his counter for the Marauders. This is going to be an excellent counter. He's actually got 2 Immortals. I didn't see the other one, but he is going to start bloodying up TaeJa quite a bit. And TaeJa is going to have to think about that, because once he's facing an army of about 3 or 4 Immortals, the Marauders are just going to get shredded. They're just going to get screwed over, and I mean they're always going to get softened up by the High Templar. But with the Immortals, the only problem is he needs enough buffer zone in front of the Immortals. It's the same deal with the Colossus, man. If you don't have a buffer zone, the Marauders will snipe the living crap out of your Immortals. So needs that buffer zone, needs more gateways. He's getting more gateways, warping in a bunch more Zealots, getting that buffer zone, trying to hold off against this extreme amount of Marauders, which just, they're running on fumes right now. Their health is so low, and excellent idea for TaeJa to back out. His army was like, I mean, there was still, most of them were alive, but they were about 2 seconds from being wiped out. I think the Immortals would have just completely screwed them all over at that point. Just, they're so low on health. But I don't know, man. I mean, HerO needs a 3rd base right now. There goes the probe. There goes Terran forces, man. TaeJa is not giving up this position he's got. He's not giving up his control over HerO's 3rd base location. And he's going to make it work there. We do have a Colossus, though, and 3 Immortals. And this army, suddenly, this heavy Marauder army, I don't think it can compete with HerO anymore. Oh, we got a bunch of Zealots in here as well. Has taken out a bunch of workers. Very nice job. He's still behind, though. HerO is still behind, and that's probably because TaeJa just has that 3rd base. Man, I mean, I don't know. I would have thought that HerO would have pushed out to try and fortify this place, but he was going for, he was trying to go for TaeJa's main base or TaeJa's expansion or something like that, but he ends up turning around to deal with these guys, and the medevac's just going to lift him up. Oh, actually going to drop him up on the high ground. Bunch of Stalkers coming in, but they're going to get overwhelmed in about 2 seconds. That's way too many Marauders. And the Colossus way out in the middle of nowhere. Some nice storms going down. Maybe enough to get these guys out of there. They're very low on health. And the Oracle, obviously not got enough energy to start shooting. But, yeah, unfortunately not much anti-air. TaeJa, what are you doing here? Is he dealing with some Zealot aggression or something like that? Or that was a slip-up right there. That was a major slip-up. Lost a medevac because of that. And these guys are on autopilot. They're being controlled now. But that was a few forces that went down for no reason there. So, a bit of a fudge there by TaeJa. Not something you see every day, but here we go. A bunch of probes there that actually are finished up. And looks like the Marauders are going to get out of there, man. They're not really able to do much. But another army coming in here. And HerO sending his main forces to take care of it. The Colossus and the Immortals really just doing an excellent job on those guys. Oh, he's actually dropped out the remainder of the Marauders. Maybe able to snipe this base. Oracle forcing them to lift off. I would have thought he'd just leave them there and try and snipe this. But obviously feeling like he didn't have enough to do there. The probe didn't get that kill, but, you know, maybe not. But he was probably having a crack at it anyway. Bunch of Marauders here. Oh, man, HerO has no idea that these guys are waiting there. These guys could very easily swoop down, snipe the 3rd, maybe even snipe the natural expansion. Because the force... Oh, HerO, man. Ouch. He's starting to put down some storms and just manages to get his army back. And now, is he going to keep going, man? This is very risky. He's got a ton of time to get to the 3rd base, whereas TaeJa, man, he's so close to the Protoss, but there we go. Moving on in. Bunch of Vikings coming out, so that Colossus is going to go down. The Immortals, can they do the damage? They can do the damage. Oh, the Marauder forces coming up the backside, sniping the Immortals. This has got to be a dark day for HerO right here, man. He's just got totally pincered there, man. Totally pincered. And the Immortals, without the Zealot backup, without the buffer zone, completely destroyed. And now, with that victory right there, I think TaeJa is in a commanding position. I mean, ever since he went in there, nice and hard, started denying the 3rd base of HerO, his economy has been going through the roof. He's 67 over 50 workers. And it's showing in his army size. It really is showing. So, I think he's won this. I think he has won this. I don't see HerO being able to do anything. Look at this beautiful concave he's got coming in. There's some Archons, there's some Storms, but the army is still very Marauder heavy. and they're still doing a sensational job of dealing with the Zealots, with the Archons, with everything. So I think HerO is dead here. I do not think he's going to survive. He's going to GG any second now. I feel like any second. Let's have a look. Where is his armed forces? Where are his forces? He's got an Archon, a Colossus, and 4 High Templar. And the spread on TaeJa's forces are so huge. No, it's not going to do it. I mean, Zealot's warping in here. Maybe how to slow this down, but TaeJa, man, he's warping in. Well, he's not warping in, but he's building reinforcements. They're constantly traveling in, constantly moving in. He's still got a very, very decent army. The Zealots, man, the Zealots are so tenacious, and they just keep on going, but both players really starting to run out of minerals right here. I guess HerO, there we go. He's finally given the GG. Finally just had nothing left in the tank right there. Absolutely nothing left. He had 1 immortal, and that was it. So he couldn't even afford to do a full line of Zealots to take those guys out. So had to give the GG. And TaeJa, absolutely fantastic stuff, man. The 10-minute aggression, the constant 10-minute aggression to really deal with HerO's forces. Absolutely fantastic, man. And I mean, he chose the right unit composition. It was mass Marauders versus the Zealots and High Templars. I mean, Zealots and High Templars make sense. You whack all your gas into the High Templars, into the tech. What do you do with your extra minerals? Zealots. And you get Zealot legs as well to make sure the Zealots are actually useful. And there you go. You got a nice army at the start. Not so good at anti-air. But what the hell are the Terrans going to be throwing at you? Like Banshees? Mass Banshee harass? No, it's not like against Protoss where you get like a bunch of Void Rays or Mutas or anything like that. It's against the Terran. You're not going to seeing a ton of air harass. The best unit is the Viking, and you don't see a Viking until you got Colossus. So you don't need anti-air. You don't need a massive amount of Stalkers. Even Sentries are okay, but mainly all you need is ground. And Zealots with speed and High Templars to back them up are a beautiful force for dealing with most threats. And TaeJa turned that around on his head. He went for pure Marauder, and Marauders rock against Zealots. They're so beefy, storms do nothing to them, and they rock against Zealots, especially once they got the slow, which, you know, I would have gotten out a little bit sooner, but yeah, he got it out eventually, and it did a fantastic job. So really great job there by TaeJa with the Marauder pressure, and that allowed him to effectively just keep HerO contained in his base for so long. He denied the third base so often. He got such an economic advantage, and from then he just, boom, steamrolled everything. So great job there by TaeJa, and yeah, great job. So there we go. This has been that game for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. This has been HerO Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.